Real stay shit. You already know what the fuck going on. So I wasn't gonna make another video about this shit because mad niggas were hating on my last video where I basically broke the news. Like, I was one of the first niggas actually posting about this shit in the first place. So I don't know why niggas were hating on me. But basically, there was an update in the Travis Scott situation with Astroworld, and apparently the reason why the crowd all started stampeding wasn't because fucking Drake and Travis came on. According to TMZ, some random man started injecting people wildly with drugs, running around, stabbing them with a hypodermic needle, which caused everyone to go crazy. And then after everyone went crazy, they basically all just started fucking like stampeding in the panic. Everyone started crushing people. People started having cardiac arrest. I detailed a story in the last video where someone basically got crushed, and then they went unconscious, and then they were lifted up and crowd surfed out, and then their partner found them, and then like they saw people with fucking blood coming out of their noses and just being crushed so hard that their body was internally bleeding. Shit like that, man. It's like, I don't know. Is it Travis's fault? That's the like number one question in all this shit. I personally think that he is at fault for this shit, because I feel like the thing about it is that he was the one that threw this, and he encouraged the wild environment with people screaming and people like geeking out and shit. So he's partly at fault. Also the fact that he didn't have enough people to fucking like be medics and shit. I'm seeing hella people on Twitter saying that they were there and the medics had no idea what they were doing. People were fucking dying and the medics were not doing CPR. They were just standing there with their fucking like confused ass look on their face, geeking out and shit like that. People were convulsing. There were people doing CPR and people that had a pulse and were alive. There were people not doing CPR. There were people dropping people on their heads and shit. Man, it's just sad, and it's gonna be interesting to see. Travis Scott just did a statement on this shit like an hour ago where he basically said that he was like truly devastated and shit. It was just like a cookie cutter apology. He probably didn't even write that shit. It's so fucked up, man. And it's just like, I don't know, for someone who went through his whole career not having like any like scandals or anything that was really majorly bad for him, he fucking was like put into this position and he totally took an L. Honestly, I don't even know. There's definitely not going to be another Astroworld. It's definitely that this Astroworld is canceled. Like, it was supposed to go on today, but that's just over. Man, niggas died, and a lot of it was probably because of Travis Scott's fault. I feel like Live Nation, who threw the show, had an equal like fault in this shit. They didn't have enough people. I don't know how involved Travis was with this shit, but whatever the fuck he did is not right. And he said he was gonna help the families that fucking died, but it's like, man, this shit is fucked. And this is like terrible. This is like the only news today that hella niggas has died. I've never heard of something where people go to a concert and they fucking die, man. And it's in those numbers. They were saying hundreds, like at least 300 people are injured. Bro, what the fuck is going on, man? They need to fucking figure that shit out. I think this nigga Travis needs to get sued. His company, Live Nation, they need to get sued. I just am confused on whether or not Travis, like, what his stake was in this shit. Cause it's like, I don't know if he was the one that was actually, I know he was the one that was marketing it, but I don't know if he was the one that was actually in charge of all the fucking preparations and shit. I think that it was probably Live Nation, because they'd be throwing this shit. But if it's Live Nation, they'd be throwing festivals every fucking day, basically. They should know that if there's 50,000 people in this bitch, that they could stampede easily. As for how the fuck that nigga got in and started injecting people with drugs, like, what the fuck is even going on, man? Like, that shit needs to get shut down. That's a safety hazard, bro. Like, niggas is going down bad. It is not right now. Niggas geeking, bro. Like, niggas can't be just going around injecting people with AIDS or some shit, like whatever the fuck they're doing. So it's like, it's a pretty sad situation to see, man. RIP all the victims that died. Dude, RIP Astroworld, because we know damn well that shit not happening. Everyone running around with their fucking heads like fucking confused and shit, looking like, it's just a really sad situation for Travis Scott. And I don't know if it's deserved, but it just shows, like, I don't know, personally, it does, after looking at this, it looks like he doesn't really have his fans in his best interest. Like, I'm sure he tries, but it's like, why have so many people? Like, if it's a safety hazard, niggas need to have like some type of thing that counts the amount of people and be like, yeah, man, this is way too many people, because that should never happen. They need to have barriers or some shit to prevent the crowd from crushing people, but I don't know how the fuck you prevent that. And they need to have more security of niggas sneaking in with fucking goddamn fucking needles and shit. That's not right, man. Y'all need to figure that shit out, man. That shit fucked. But hopefully we all figure out what the fuck is good. I don't know how Travis's career is gonna keep going after this when his show literally killed 8 people. It's just wrong, bro. Like, I don't know, man. And I see people are hella mad on Twitter. Like, niggas are having a whole discussion saying that this nigga needs to be held accountable. So I wouldn't be surprised if lawsuits and wrongful death lawsuits are gonna be filed. So I'll keep y'all updated on the news and shit. Real stay safe shit. You already know what the fuck going on. Peace.